All right. Shalom. Shalom. I'm giving all praises, honor, and glory to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak, Wadash. I want to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who have taught us all this truth in the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. I'm Shaquat, and I'm back with another lesson, Lord willing and edifying to the hopeful, elect, Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Barakathum, to you sincere Akim, walk worth, and a sincere shalom to you brothers out here pushing the truth out on the highways and the byways and to the YouTube lessons, man, shalom to you all. Lord willing and edifying. Alright, so anyway, without further ado, you see by the title of the lesson, it's entitled Sold with an exclamation point, and it was just more symbolic in a sense. When you have something that's in your possession, you have the ability and freedom to sell it, because it belongs to you, so you can do what you want with it. Now concerning the topic of the lesson, which is about women, your wife and all that, can you sell your wife? No, that's being a whoremonger, that's being a pimp. So that's not what I'm talking about. But it was, like I said, it was more so just symbolic to being able to do what you want with something that you own. Okay, so I want to start with going to this TikTok video. All right, I'm gonna play it, or Instagram reel rather.
Hold on. Are you your man's property?
I'm nobody's property, honey.
Okay, so I don't have no. Hold on. Are you your man's property?
I'm nobody's property, honey.
Okay, so I don't have no. Hold on. So he has no business treating you like his property, right?
Right.
Right, okay. The only thing that I've ever seen people be willing to defend and die for are things that were valuable to them that belong to them. You can't name me anything that does not belong to a man that he's willing to die for. Now go ahead, try it. You have the floor. Name me something that a man is willing to defend or die for that is not his property.
You got a point.
So why does it sting so bad to say that?
It's lucky. I don't know why it kept glitching out. It wasn't doing that before I began the lesson. But anyway, nonetheless, you women are in possession to your husband, and you're first in possession to your father, then it's passed on to your husband once your father marries you off, which you don't have a say in who you get married to. All right, and we're gonna get into that briefly here as we get into this lesson. So I do want to begin by going off to Sirach, the 36th chapter. All right. So this is Sirach chapter 36 and verse 24. He that getteth a wife beginneth a possession, and a help like unto himself, and the pillar of rest. All right. So a man that gets a wife, he gets someone that's a possession. All right. He gets a help like unto himself. So he gets a helper, a servant that's to him. She serves him. Make sure all his needs and wants are met. And a pillar of rest, a woman who could bring him peace. He could go to bring him peace. All right? A possession. Possession, man. But you got her saying, oh, I'm not owned by no man. No man has possession over me, this, that, and the third. Esau has infiltrated you women's minds to think that this is a bad thing. Or weren't you considered under your parents' ownership and rulership. You couldn't even sign documents until you turn 18 years old. So like, what's different with your husband? Right? Like it says in Genesis, the 2nd chapter, which is also on the list of scriptures to get. So this is Genesis 2:18. We're going to read this in the AMP. Now Yahweh Power said, it is not good or beneficial for the man to be alone. I will make him a helper, one who balances him. All right, so this is what your women's duty is to do. You're here to balance your husband. All right, that's what you're here for, to balance your husband out. And it says a counterpart. All right, counterpart is someone that basically is someone who complements something or someone that complements another. That's what a counterpart basically goes into. And it says a counterpart who is suitable and complementary for him, because y'all were created for the man. All right, but that's to show you that you were made to be a helper and to basically bring balance and peace to that man's life, not the other way around. All right, so you do belong to that man. You are his possession. That's the truth of the matter. All right, when you go into the word possession, we're going to click off here and we're going to come back to it. Possession means a state of having, owning, or controlling something. That's what possession means, owning or controlling it. All right, something and someone. Ownership. All right. Let's see, control, charge, guardianship. Look at that, guardianship. All right, and yep. Look at that, visible power or control over something as distinct from lawful ownership, holding, or occupancy. All right. An item of property, something belonging to one. An asset. Look at that. All right, so you can't make this up. So you do belong to the man. You know, she said, I don't belong to the man, blah, 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 blah. But at the end of the day, you do belong to the man. All you women are at the end of the day is property. Don't take it the wrong way. It's just the truth. You're property. All right, you're property of the man. You don't see us men complaining about being property of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. I'm not complaining. I love being property of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. He completely has my best interest at heart. So I'm not worried about that at all. I'm so thankful. I'm so extremely very thankful to be his property, to be his possession. I'm not complaining. But yet when it comes to you women being in possession to your husband, it's always complaints. It's fucking insane. Right, and then you have certain situations where a woman, you know, you had a controversy on social media, a woman be like, well, I'll pick my father over my husband, or I'll listen to my father before I listen to my husband, or this, that, and the third. Well, your father is an ain't shit ass father then. Because he should have told, I wish, man, if I had a daughter, she better, I don't care what that nigga on, don't pick me over him. Don't pick me over him. The nigga can be wrong as shit. Don't pick me over him. That's your husband. That's the truth at the end of the day. And once a man passes his daughter off, that's no longer his possession. Yeah, it's still his daughter. Yeah, they can still, you know, still his baby girl. Yeah. But that's no longer his possession now. Now the rulership, the ownership has been passed to the husband. That's how it goes. So yeah, you do belong to the man. Y'all getting stuff twisted. See, y'all think because the Lord made a new thing upon the earth, like he said in Jeremiah 31, y'all think y'all own the men. And y'all are liberated. And And yeah, that's the word. Y'all think y'all liberated and stuff like that. Y'all are independent. That's the word I was trying to find. Salakia. Independent. No, man. You are very dependent. You need the man. You need us. Now you got guys walking around doing these street interviews asking these women, would you like to be on the earth where there is no men? And they're saying, yeah, I would love that. Yeah, this, that, and the third. I love being on the earth with no men. This, that, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, y'all women are insane. We'll see if you're still keeping that same energy come Jacob's trouble when you need a man to defend you from other men and from other women. Because you're going to have women out there going buck wild too. So we'll see if you keep that same energy. And also, if there was a world with no men, y'all would just die out. Last time I checked, the only way you get in here is by our seed. What y'all gonna do? How y'all gonna make babies? How y'all gonna procreate? You can't. Alright, you cannot do it. So let's go back here to Ecclesiasticus 36 and 24. He that getteth a wife beginneth a possession, a help like unto himself, and a pillar of rest. Alright? The pillar of rest. Alright, you got it? So there you go. A possession. If a man gets himself a wife, he gets a item that he now owns. It's not, now you're in subjection to him. He has ownership over you. When you go to 1 Corinthians, the 7th chapter, it literally says that your husband has ownership over your body. Well, you said your wife got ownership over his body too. Yes, it does. It do. In a sexual manner, yes, she does. She does have ownership over his body sexually. She wants it, give it to her. If your husband wants it, give it to him. That's how it's supposed to be. So yes, you are owned. You are property that is owned. Don't take it the wrong way once again. But if you are taking it the wrong way, you're a part of the problem. It's just the truth. You don't have no problem being in subjection and ownership of your motherfucking job. But then when it comes to someone you love, it's a problem. Doesn't make no sense. All right? So, you know, I got that out the way. Forgive me. Now I want to go to Sirach 26 and verse 3. We'll start at verse 1. Blessed is the man that hath a virtuous wife, for the number of his days shall be double. A virtuous woman. So see how basking in your femininity, your true femininity can boost your husband. It can boost your husband's life in more ways than one. If you just bask in your femininity, you stop always fucking nagging. Stop always making problems out of nothing. Please your husband in the bedroom, etc. Doing these things can benefit your husband's life in a lot of ways. But no, you women rather be wicked and rebellious and just bitches. Terrible, man. A virtuous woman rejoiceth her husband. So a virtuous woman is always happy about her husband. She's glad about her husband. She always showing appreciation for her husband. She's always doing the right things for her husband. It says, and he shall fulfill the years of his life in peace. A good wife is a good portion. A good wife is a good portion, which shall be given in the portion of them that fear the Lord. All right? So a good wife is a good portion. So I went and asked Google a question. Google, I said, is a portion of something considered a possession? Now let's see what is subject to either actual possession, which is physical custody, or constructive possession, which is dominion and control, which in this case is talking about both. As your husband has dominion and control over you, and you are physically his possession. All right? You're physically in custody, enslaved to your husband. Like we brought out, being a helpmate, a helper. A helper is a servant. A servant is a slave. A servant and a slave is not the same thing. Yes, it is. Servant is just the less harsh way to say it. A slave and a servant is the same fucking thing. You're doing the same shit. You're serving. It's the same thing. One is not treated better than the other because it's the same thing. So you women are essentially in captivity, in bondage, in custody to your husband. You're enslaved to your husband. First your father, then your husband. It says, say legal and law-related sites, for example, physically holding, all right, and then it goes into other stuff, right? So there you go. There you go, man. All right. So that's the point I wanted to make concerning that. Now, I also want to go to Sirach 25 and 25, right? Just to show you something. It says, give the water no passage, neither a wicked woman liberty to gad abroad. Actually, let me see what that says in the GNT. Let's check it out. Where is it at? Right here. Don't let a bad wife have her way any more than you would allow water to leak from your cistern. So see, don't let your woman have her way. She want to be rebellious, don't let that bitch have her damn way. You correct her. Say something. Now it gets to a point where you may just stop giving a fuck. Just be like, whatever, bitch, I don't even give a fuck about you no more. But it's crazy. But you got abroad. No liberty. You have dominion over your woman. So if your husband has the ability to give you no liberty to go out, right? If your husband has the power to stop you from doing that and give you no liberty to do that, doesn't that mean he has possessorship over you? Yes, it does, indeed. Sincerely, grab a gun and shoot. I'm talking about straight hand on hand. Are you going to be able to stop your husband? No. You know you can't. Now, yes, you are in subjection to your man. That's the facts at the end of the day. And I want to jump to Ecclesiastes 26 again, and we're going to go to verse 10. If thy daughter be shameless, so this is how you treat your daughter as well. If thy daughter be shameless, and this goes for your wife too, keep her in straitly, lest she abuse herself through overmuch liberty. So you could keep your daughter or your wife, because it goes into that too, in straitly. Meaning you can give them no liberty. And that's okay. Why is a man able to do that? Because he has ownership over the woman. That's why. Like I said, y'all complain about it, but you don't see us brothers complaining about being owned by Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shai. I'm not complaining. I love that. I love that for myself. Y'all are the ones always complaining because y'all hate order. And it says, so when you keep reading, actually, no, Salakia. And it says, lest she abuse herself through overmuch liberty. All right, because if a woman gets too much freedom, she abuses it. And in turn, she abuses herself. You give a woman an inch, she goes a whole fucking mile. It's like, what the hell are you, what you doing, man? I said you could do this. Not you could do this, that, and this. That don't make no sense. Right? You give them an inch and they take an entire mile, man. All right? That's why, so women, when they get too much liberty, they completely abuse themselves. I mean, prime example, look at Babylon the Great. This is the experience. This was an experiment of how life would be if women were given liberty to gad abroad. And now look at it. They've been clearly just abusing themselves, man. And Esau's enjoying it because he caused it. He's a chaos guy. And he turned these women into chaos goblins. Right? Anyway, And at GNT it says, if your daughter is determined to have her own way, keep a close watch on her. If you don't, she'll take advantage of any chance she gets. And look at all these bitches out here who be wanting to do what they want, and they don't want to be in subjection to their parents. You turn around, you fuck around and don't keep a close eye on her. She gotten popped. She getting trains ran on her fucking ass. You show up at the house, and this bitch got 8 niggas in the room. Hey, bro, I done seen videos like that on social media, bro. The dad come home, find his daughter in the room with 8 niggas. This shit crazy, bro. Babylon the Great, man. Lovely, ain't it? So I want to go to Sirach 7:25 now. Actually, we could just go with, I want to see what it say in the GN. But nah, it ain't saying nothing too crazy. All right. Ecclesiastes 7:25, marry thy daughter, and so shalt thou have performed a weighty matter, but give her to a man of understanding. GNT, when you give your daughter in marriage, you have finished a great task, but give her to a sensible man, meaning give her to a man that knows Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, a man of the Lord. All right? But the point I want to make here is that the father decides who his daughter marries. The daughter don't get to go out there playing pop the balloon and shit. Or I don't like that you have this song choice. Or I don't like your pants. Nah, bitch, you don't have a say. Your daddy do the choosing. As you see, these women be picking the men out all the time now. Now they got the liberty to pick who they want to deal with. And what has happened? Now you got a bunch of single fucking mamas, single baby mamas, all right, with 10 kids, with 10 different baby daddies. My bad, with 10 kids and 12 different baby daddies, somehow. Almost done with this lesson. Let's go to 1 Corinthians, oh my goodness, 11:3. All right, so it says, but I would have you know that the head of every man is Hamashiach, which is Yahweh Shai, and the head of the woman is the man. So the head of the woman is the man. What's up? Now, when you scroll down, it says in verse 8, for the man is not of the woman, but the woman of the man. All right? And it says, neither was the man created for the woman, but the woman for the man. All right, you read this in the AMP. It says, for indeed man was not created for the sake of woman, but woman for the sake of man. So y'all were created for us. All right, y'all were created for us, for our sake, so we could use you to procreate and to get our rocks off, and to have a pillar of rest to get peace when we need. That's what y'all are here for, to help us in anything we have going on. That's why y'all were created. But a lot of you women have the game backwards and think we were created to be your helpmate. A nigga no. Nigga no. All right, talking about you got bitches out here asking men now what they bring to the table. Bitch, what do you bring to the table? You coming to my table. I'm not coming to your table. You're coming to my table. What are we talking about, man? Everything's so backwards here. And it's all thanks to that fucking devil. Man, I hate this place. Alright? Good Lord. Anyway, let's go to 1 Timothy 2. We're going to jump down. And read in the AMP, verse 11, a woman must quietly receive instruction with all submissiveness. I do not allow a woman to teach or exercise authority over a man, but to remain quiet in the congregation. For Adam was formed first by the Most High from the earth, then Eve. All right, then Eve. All right. So the woman, if the woman not supposed to use to exercise authority over the man, if she's not supposed to usurp authority over the man, then what would be the probable take on this matter? That the man is usurping authority over the woman. So the man has possession or ownership over the woman. I mean, how else would you turn that? What else would it mean? Can't make this up. All right, so I want to go to Numbers 30 and 6, and I'm going to close on Genesis. All right, so this is Numbers chapter 30, and we're going to start at verse 6. All right, and it says in the AMP is what I'm going to read it in. But if she marries while under her vows, I don't like how that one worded. So I'm going to read verse 6 in the KJV, and I'm going to jump back to AMP in verse 7. And if she had at all an husband, when she vowed or uttered out of her lips, wherewith she bound her soul, and her husband hears of it and says nothing about it on the day he hears it, then her vows shall stand, and her pledge by which she bound herself shall stand. But if her husband disapproves of her making, all right, in the KJV it says disallow, of her making her vow or pledge, which is talking about a prayer. So if the husband hears his wife praying and he like, yeah, nah, fuck that, he could in that same day, as long as he does it within the 24 hours, he could say, nah, Lord, don't answer that one. Nuh-uh. Yeah, we're not doing that. Okay? And it says, disapproves of her making her vow or pledge on the day that he hears it, then he shall annul, which means disallow, all right, to stop, all right, disannul, what's the word I'm thinking about though? It's another word I'm thinking about. He can make that prayer that she put up null and void, all right? So it says, annul her vow, which she is under, and the rash statement of her lips by which she bound herself, and Yahweh will forgive her. All right, so a husband can literally hear his wife's prayer and say, nah, and the Lord gonna be with it. Why? Because we have dominion over you. You belong to us. Now, if you hear us praying somehow, and you don't like it, ain't shit you could do. You go to the Lord might fuck your ass up for that. Ain't shit you could do, because you don't have dominion over us. We have dominion over you. All right? Now let's end it off on this Genesis 3 and 16. We're going to read it in probably 3 different translations. All right, it says, unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception. In sorrow thou shalt bring forth children, and thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee. So your desire is going to be to your husband, and your husband is going to rule over you. Why? Because he owns you. He owns you, man. In the AMP it says, to the woman he said, I will greatly multiply your pain and childbirth. In pain you will give birth to children, yet your desire and longing will be for your husband, and he will rule with authority over you. He's going to rule with authority over you and be responsible for you. If you're responsible for something, typically you have it in your possession. It is a possession to you, and you typically have ownership over it. Do you not? If you're responsible for it, then isn't that your property? I'm not going to be responsible. I don't take no responsibility over something I don't own. Fuck do I look like? All right, but right here it says, and be responsible for you. So we're responsible for you women. So you damn right we own your ass. You ain't responsible for us. We are men. You don't have ownership over us, but we are responsible for you. All right, and read it in the NLT. We're going to end it with that. Then he said to the woman, I will sharpen the pain of your pregnancy, and in pain you will give birth, and you will desire to control your husband. That's your women's desire in this queendom. to control the man, to control your husband. That's why it never sits right with you women. The fact that you are in possession to your husband. You are in subjection and your husband owns your ass. That's why it don't seem right to you. But it don't matter what seems right to you. The Lord didn't give y'all no wisdom. And he compared you to an ostrich multiple times. Anyway. But he will rule over you. Cold cut. What the shit say? It's a cold cut. It's a cold cut. It's a cold cut. All right, so you can't make this stuff up, man. So you women are possession to the man. All right, first your father. There's no way. Okay, well, I was about to crash out. Call you hope I should be. I was shy. I was about to crash out. Y'all gonna give me a miniature crash out. Oh my goodness. All right, so I'm gonna close it there before something bad really happened to this audio. Call you hope I should be. I was shy. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who have taught us this truth in the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai. And until next time, Ababa Ball, Kwam Yasharala Gadol Abadium, Lababal Gadol, Yahweh Mahar, Wa Habathum. And until next time, Shabbat.